Good morning, Hedgehogs. I hope you've just enjoyed retelling the story of Little Red Riding Hood using the story map that you made last week. This week we are going to make some changes to the story of Little Red Riding Hood, and we're going to change the main character and we're going to change the ending of the story. Now, the main character in Little Red Riding Hood is Little Red Riding Hood herself, but we are going to change the character to somebody different. Now, red and riding both start with a and red is a colour. So I want you to think of a different colour and then a name that starts with the same sound as that colour. So I've done that, and I have made a new story character, and he is over here. So he's a boy, he's not a girl, and his name is Purple Peter. So Purple and Peter both start with a p, 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 p. So you're going to see if you can think of a character who has alliteration in their name. Alliteration is when two words or more than two words start with the same sound. So red and riding and purple and Peter. So now in my story, I don't have Little Red Riding Hood like this one over here. I've got Purple Peter. So I have cut out some pictures of Purple Peter and I have put him over the top of Red Riding Hood throughout the story. I haven't drawn a new story map because I don't need to, because I'm not changing all of it. I'm just changing the character and the ending. Now, in the ending of our original story, the woodcutter chases the wolf away waving his axe. Now, in my story, the ending is going to be a little bit more gruesome, and the woodcutter is going to chop off the wolf's tail. So there is the tail chopped off on the floor, and the woodcutter has blood dripping from his axe. And there is the wolf running away. He's only got a little bit of a stump left for a tail, and it's still bleeding. So my story is now a little bit gruesome. So I'm going to get rid of my old story map, because I'm going to be working on this story now, and it's not the story of Little Red Riding Hood anymore, it's the story of Little Purple Peter. So I've made my changes to the character and the ending of my story, and now I'm going to tell the story again from the beginning. Once upon a time there was a boy called Little Purple Peter who lived with his mother. Early one morning his mother asked him to take a basket of food to his poorly grandmother. His mother warned him not to talk to any strangers. So he walked and he walked and he walked through the deep dark forest. In the forest, Little Purple Peter met a woodcutter who asked him where he was going. Unfortunately, a wicked wolf was hiding behind a tree and listening to what he was saying. When he got to Grandma's house, he knocked on the door. And he went inside to Grandma's bedroom. "Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have!" "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied Grandma. "Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have!" "All the better to hear you with, my dear," replied Grandma. "Oh, Grandma, what big teeth you've got!" "All the better to eat you with," roared the big bad wolf as he jumped out of Grandma's bed. "Ah, help!" screamed Little Purple Peter. Luckily, in rushed the woodcutter waving his axe, and he chopped off the wolf's tail. The wolf ran away screaming and crying with blood dripping from his tail, and he never came back. From that day on, Little Purple Peter promised not to talk to any strangers. The end. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is have a think about your new story character. So remember, I want you to choose a colour and a name that starts with that colour, because we're going to try and see if we can have a little bit of alliteration in our stories. And then I want you to change the character on your story map that you made last week. If you can't find your story map anymore, don't worry, you can always make a new one and you can improve it even more than your last story map. And then I want you to change something that happens in the ending of the story. So I look forward to seeing your innovative stories. When you've done that, come back to the video and we'll see what we're going to do next. Okay, our last job for today is to make a couple of changes to our story planners from last week, because we made a story planner ready for writing our stories this week. And this job is a little bit easier because we only have 2 pictures to change. So you need to change your main character there. So there's my little purple Peter instead of Little Red Riding Hood. And then you need to change the ending. Now, I didn't need to draw a new picture. I could just add the blood dripping and the tail, but you could cover up that picture and draw your new story ending. And then you are all ready to write our story this week.